Are you going to be defined by what stood against you or how you got over it? I'll tell you something right now. I want to find out what's on the other side of the wall. Because people don't put up walls unless they're concerned about something on the other side. So whatever the devil has been fighting you with, I just wonder, why is he so threatened and worried about you getting through it? What's on the other side is what I want to find out. For Joseph, he saved the whole nation. He preserved his entire family and posterity. And I wonder what's on the other side of your wall. Now, we probably wouldn't have called Joseph a vine, would we? By our definitions, because, we live in the days where everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a ribbon, everybody, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't get what you wanted, you didn't get your seat, you didn't get your opportunity, you didn't get to serve where you want to serve, you didn't get the feedback you wanted, nobody told me it was good. So if we had been Jacob, think of how we would have spoke to Joseph, because he's going through their life and he's defining their life as their father, and he's saying some things to each of them. So Genesis 49:22, he gets to Joseph, you raw bone donkey, you snake by the road, talking to all the other brothers. He gets to Joseph, Joseph is a vine. But I thought he was a victim. But his father called him a vine. But he was a victim. But he was a vine. But he was a victim. And what made him a vine was what he climbed over. You ready? What he climbed over and what he brought forth. Because he's not just any vine. He's a fruitful vine. Tell somebody, I got something to give. No, I'm not just surviving for me. I've got something special. I've got something to give. It will be the fruit of what I've been through that will preserve my purpose. Sit next to a fruitful vine. Wow, look at that fruit. Wait. And he's not just a vine. He doesn't just talk about a wall. And he doesn't really describe the wall. I love it. He didn't really care. What kind of wall? Doesn't matter. It matters more what the vine was made of than what the wall was made of. And because, listen, this is the meaning of a fruitful vine. Because you are abiding in Christ. Because you are choosing and deciding to focus on what he is doing, not what you have been through, but what you are bringing forth. And that's how you interrupt it with a but. Wow, that was horrible, but God was there with us. Did you ever watch somebody die and it was horrible? But there was a grace that was almost more real than the air that you breathed. And you almost feel sorry for the people who weren't there because of the grace that grew from the grief of that moment. That's what I mean by interrupting it with a but. That's what I mean. So that you don't stay chained to the way things went down. So that you don't stay chained to what other people called you. The only reason that Joseph was able to do what he did in chapter 50 is because of what his father said in Genesis 49. So you got to hear it firsthand from your father. Some of you didn't have an earthly father who told you this. So now God is speaking this over you. You're more than a conqueror. You're an overcomer. Greater is he that is in you than the wall that is in the world. Climb or die. Climb or die. You turn around, the first wall you see, the first rejection you get, the first no you hear, the first relapse, you turn around. He said Joseph climbed over stuff that would have killed others. And by the way, I'm going to say this, and if it was for you, send me a message. it's almost impossible to climb over something while you're complaining about it. Get it out of your system. Tell who you need to tell, but then start climbing and start bringing forth what you're supposed to bring forth. And ask the question. Let me see how I wrote it down in my notes. I write all these notes and I never look at them, and I try to remember them and I mess them up sometimes. It was something along the line of, not God, why am I going through this, but God, what are you bringing forth? Show me what you are doing through this that is for the benefit of others. Like Paul said, he comforts us with the comfort by which others may be comforted. That's a generational way of thinking about your faith. Now, faith is a fight. Faith is a fight. It's a fight for focus. It's a fight for focus. You're not fighting against people. You're not fighting against Reuben and Simeon and all. You're fighting for your focus. And it's the fight of your life. Because how can God bring it into harmony if you die on the vine? He said he's a vine climbing over a wall. Isn't that a great picture? A fruitful vine. You raw-boned donkey, you snake by the road. You fruitful vine. You fruitful vine. You're going to be defined by what stood against you. The next image is cool too. One of those images is kind of pretty, and the other one is grisly. I like this grisly image. You know what I'm saying? I like this testosterone prophecy that he gives it. Give me the next verse, 23. With bitterness, archers attacked him. They shot at him with hostility. You intended to harm me. So when Jacob says this to Joseph before he dies, at the moment that Joseph is standing before his brothers making the decision about what comes next in his life, he still has this picture of the fact that every arrow that was shot at him missed. But he went to prison, but it didn't take his purpose. But he was thrown in a pit, but it didn't take his purpose. That was the word that kept coming to my mind when I said, my future is my focus. I kept thinking about preference and then purpose. And I thought that what Joseph was meaning when he said, you hit me with your best shot, but it didn't work. You tried to kill me. He didn't say it didn't hurt. He said it didn't move me from my purpose. In fact, it was the exact thing that God used to bring me to this place where I could stand in my purpose and fulfill the promise that God gave to the nation. Isn't that awesome? So Jacob said, they shot him. They attacked him with bitterness. It was their bitterness, not his. He didn't let it in. He didn't let it in. They shot it at him, but it didn't get in. That's the challenge, y'all. Don't let it get in. Don't let it get in. Deal with it. Acknowledge it. Notice it. But do not let it define you, whatever it is. Let God work it in. Let God work it in. So you could be like Joseph. I never shot a bow and arrow in my life, so I might look stupid doing this. But it said his bow, verse 24, remained steady. And his strong arms stayed limber. Only because the hand of the mighty one of Jacob, because of the shepherd, the rock of Israel. Now I want you to see what I saw in the spirit. It's a picture of Joseph. Through all of the pain that he went through, never lost his focus. That's what you do when you aim, right? You gotta focus. You know how hard it is to focus when you got everything flying at you? We went out on tour a couple weeks ago. Every night was such a challenge because it was big rooms. And And when I preach at our church, everybody's paying attention, taking notes. And nobody's bored. Y'all, in those arenas, there are people there that are literally praising God with one hand, eating popcorn with another. Got a chicken finger in their beard and talking about, oh God, my God, I need you. It's very distracting. And I'm sitting there one night, I'm about to preach in a few minutes, and I'm like, God, this is so distracting. I can't even focus on the word. Look at that guy down there. I think he has a beer. Are they selling beer? No, they don't sell alcohol here. It looks like a beer. And it's almost like I'm saying, God, I can't preach with all these distractions. And the Lord, yeah, exactly. The Lord was like, whose eyeballs, whose sockets are your eyeballs in? At any time, you can stop watching Mr. Chicken Fingers. And if you look 3 seats over, look at those 3 guys right there. And these 3 big guys had their arms around each other. I mean, big, wasn't it? You remember? Big guys. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's way more people worshiping God than sitting here getting a snack. But it's up to me to focus on what I want more of. Am I doing it close to right? I never shot a bow and arrow before. Does it look bad? Am I going to get memed for this? I'm just trying to give a picture. When I read it, it said the archers, put the verse up, the archers shot at him, but his bow remained steady. His bow. His bow. Not their bow. It's not their bow that matters. It's not their. If you get that, I know you're 24. I know you haven't been through a lot of life yet, but I'm telling you, you can be attacked on every side. You can be attacked by everything. You can be attacked by the worst thing hell has to throw at you. But if your bow stays steady, if your gaze stays on God, let me give it to you like this. If you point toward your purpose, it's about purpose. It's not about problems. It's about walls and weapons. It's about what you climb over, and it's about what you focus on. And that is the message God gave me to give you, is that He has put a hope in a future ahead of you. But you will not see this future by watching somebody else's bow. Your future, your fruit, your future, your focus. They do what they do. They are who they are. They say what they say. They go where they go. They leave when they leave. They stay when they stay. They are not God. I am not God. He is the Holy One. He is my rock. He is my fortress. He makes my hands strong. He teaches my fingers to war. And all I gotta do, baby, is hold that focus and point toward my purpose, to know that in all things, the good notes and the bad notes work in harmony. You meant it to harm me, but God took what you did to harm me, that was the bow, and shot me to Egypt. I was the arrow, and I am where I am, not because of the schemes of men or the failed plans,